How's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be looking at the card prices from Battle Partners. We're going to be doing a lot today because we're also going to be looking at Journey Together card prices. Journey Together pre-release started last week for players at LGS's, local card shops that are learning to play the game and getting, what do you call those, build and battle sets to go ahead and rip through and play through the cards. So there's a lot of new playable cards in this set. We have the Salamence EX that is doing pretty strong at the moment. And we're going to be looking at the Japanese cards as well. And the reason why we're going to be looking at Japanese card prices is because a lot of these English cards for the past few sets, ever since Surging Sparks, Twilight Masquerade, and even Temporal Forces, a lot of the card prices go up after release. They go even higher than pre-release prices. Whereas in the beginning of Scarlet and Violet, we were having Paradox Rift prices start to trend in the downward direction post-release. When Obsidian Flames came out, cards were expensive for the Charizard, and then they started going down over time. And so initially, we were having card prices for these sets pop off in the beginning post-release, and then after that, the cards, as we got more in the supply, as more cards were being ripped, card prices started to fall. But we're not seeing that anymore. So today we're going to be looking at some cards and what the cards are selling for the set Journey Together, which comes out this upcoming Friday, March 28th. So let's go ahead and start checking out these prices. First off, we have this Journey Together Ends Reshiram. We're seeing prices at around $64, $55 for this Journey Together stamped promo. And these are the, what do they call them? The top loaders that are coming in the enhanced booster box, the Journey Together enhanced booster boxes. And it's interesting because in the UK, they're getting booster boxes that are not enhanced. But right here in North America, we are getting booster boxes that are enhanced, as well as other booster boxes from the pre-release kits that come out at LGS's, local card shops, local game stores, and those booster boxes don't have the stamp. Some people are saying that we have less booster boxes without the stamped promo, and then you'll have to pull the card out of the set, and then we have booster boxes, a good amount of booster boxes supposedly that actually have the stamped promo. So in the end, we don't know during this first release if we're going to have more booster boxes with the promo and less booster boxes without the promo, but that'll be interesting to see once the set comes out this upcoming Friday. But yeah, so we're looking at Ends Reshiram, the stamped promo version, about $55 to $63 looks to be the price point right now. Some people have even bought the card for $71, $55. So if you're really wanting to get your hands on one of them, you might want to just check out the card prices and see if there's a good price for you, because the sales are all over the place. Of course, people are selling that card left and right. And then we have some prices for the End Zoroark, $240 right here. Beautiful looking card. I actually do have the Japanese version, a few copies that I'm looking to grade, and a few PSA 10 copies. And I'm going to talk about that later in the video because I think there is actually an incredible play with the Japanese End Zoroark. But we'll talk about that soon. And then on eBay as well, you can see Lillie's Clefairy is about $420 to $500, which is absolutely insane. But of course, it's Lillie. She's a very popular trainer. And, you know, her cards in the past have surpassed $200 easily over time. And this is interesting because right out of the gate, she's already a $450 card. And not surprisingly, the Japanese version used to be just as much. So now we're going to go into a little comparison between the Japanese set prices and the English set prices. So here's the Japanese card, here's the English card, and then towards the end we'll look at some sealed products and just see how they're doing right now, because prices are absolutely sky high in this demand of the market. So my name's MJ Hokage, the channel, and welcome to the channel. Let's go ahead and start getting into these cards. So here's the full set lineup for the Japanese set. You can see the top three cards: End Zoroark, $81. Iono's Bellibolt has dropped to $146, and Lillie's Clefairy EX is a $283 card. all of these chase cards have dropped significantly post-release, and that's what used to happen in the English market, but we're no longer seeing that. Next, we're going to look at the English cards right here, and we're going to go ahead and start off with the Lillie's Clefairy right here. And so Lillie's Clefairy, we could see right here, we have the sales post-release. This is the all-time data. And what's really nice about pokedata.io is you can get majority of this data, and if you get a membership, you can see like all of the sales from eBay. And so right here we have from March 15th, 3 sales at around $600 to $675. We have some sales for $550, $400 right here on March 16th, $600 again, $450, $575, $439, $574 March 19th, still $675 on March 20th, and this is literally, you guys, like a 5-day span. The lowest after 5 days was $400, $624 right here March 21st, $455 on March 21st, and it's kind of trending in the downward direction down to $487, $355, $387, and then the last 2 sales, $400 and $455. So it's going to take some time to solidify some sort of price point, but we could also see volatility because this set is brand new. This set is also a much smaller set, similar to that of Stellar Crown. The chase cards, there's about like 6 chase cards or 6 special illustration rares, and I think Stellar Crown also had about 5 or 6 special illustration rares. So this is the second set, Journey Together, that is also a really small set and is pretty much identical to the Japanese counterpart. Now here's the data that's interesting right here is the Lillie's Clefairy, and since this set has been out longer, we actually have more sales data, and we actually have PSA 10 data that has been available since February 8th. So that's about already a month and a half. And again, this set came out a lot sooner. It came out in early January or late January, January 23rd. And so let's go ahead and check out the prices. So, you know, this set released January 23rd, and the prices were around $550 to about $613. And you can see the volatility right away, because then in February, prices dropped to $200, $300, and $400. So from about a $530 card to a $470 card, that's about a $60 loss. And then the prices were more consistent in February to about $385, $350 throughout February. And then into March, it started trending in the downward direction from $350 down to $300, and now below $300 throughout March to $260, about $275, $250, $207 has been one of the cheapest, and $213, $240. So about a $215 to $250 card all throughout March. And that's a big drop from about $300 for all throughout February, $350 to $300 throughout February. So that's about from $350 to $250 to $200. That's about $100 to $100, about $100 drop, because it's now in the 240s. The PSA 10, similarly the same thing. Post-release, you know, in January we didn't have any graded cards, but if people pay that express, normally it takes 45 days to grade your cards, maybe 55, 60 days, because there's so many back orders. Now people can go ahead and pay like express and get their cards like 2 to 3 weeks later, roughly, and that's a lot more expensive per card to grade. But we started getting sales in February, early February, at around $735, $790, $750, $760, and then towards the end of February it dropped to $680s, $600s. Early March down to $595, $595, $585. Towards the end of March, right now, from March 11th, we have sales at $530, $510, $525, $510. So the card in the PSA 10 has dropped from the 700s and 600s all the way down to the low and mid 500s. So about a $200 drop since the card has come out in a graded PSA 10. There's 3,057 PSA 10s, and the card raw is about $213. So again, you know, it's early data right here, but the cheapest prices we're saying for this card is $355 to $400. And a lot of card prices, the average is $461. So you could possibly make a play on the PSA 10 and see when Lillie's Clefairy PSA 10 start coming out. Are we going to see another $1,000 card like the Pikachu card? And just like the Pikachu card, it's dropped from Surging Sparks, the special illustration rare. It's dropped from about $1,400 now to about $800, $900 for those Pikachu PSA 10s. So does this card have a potential when it comes out in PSA 10 to be like a $700, $800 card? We'll have to find out. And so, you know, there could be plays for the raw singles going back to the Lillie's Clefairy. Maybe you get raw singles at around $213, $220. And if the Lillie's Clefairy starts to pop off, you could see a marginal gain on the Japanese Lillie's Clefairy. Next, we're going to go to the Salamence right here. Salamence is a super popular Pokemon. It's a pseudo-legendary, and we have card prices post-released, or not even post-release, sorry. This is pre-release prices. The set comes out this Friday. This video I'll probably have come out on Tuesday, and today is Sunday night. And so we have card prices for around $225. It's trending in the upward direction to $275, $299, down to $235, $249, $250, and some sales at $220 and $158. And you can see right here all this data right here. Some of these are auctions. This one was an auction with 17 bidders for $300, but a lot of raw singles have sold below $300 since then at $220 and $214. So, you know, it looks to be about a $200 to $250 card. So some people buy these cards a little too early, and maybe they started seeing this card price right here go up right to $275, $299, and people kept buying. And now the card has actually dropped in price down to $200 and about $50 to $214. And we even had one sale at $158. So, you know, it really is hard to try and pick a good price for these cards because, like we've seen with Greninja, you know, it was a $300 card, and now it was a $200 card post-release, and then it went to $300 and then $400. And the PSA 10, you know, went from $500 to $600 to $700 to now almost $800 for the PSA 10 Greninja. So it's hard to tell with these prices. But again, going back to the Japanese counterparts, because Journey Together is going to be hard to get, a lot of allocations are getting cut. I had some booster boxes that apparently won't arrive on time. I have to wait till a reprint. They told me that they only got 10% of their 20% allocation they expected. And they asked me if I wanted a refund. I said, you know what, I'll just wait until, you know, whenever you have it. And they're like, that's fine. You'll be on a priority list. Whenever we get restocks, we'll ship it out to you. So at least they didn't cancel my order. So that was good because I got a good deal for those booster boxes, just a couple of them, but they are from the UK, so they're not going to get the promo, which is a little sad. And then, so let's look at the Japanese prices for this Salamence EX, because the raw singles were only $42, $40 lately, $45, $48. Post-release, it was about a $50 card to $60 card to even $118 at one point. And then the card started calming down in February, down to 50s and in the mid 40s, and it's still about a mid $40 card, even having some sales at $39 now in March. And this set, the Japanese version Battle Partners, has been out for 3 months, so it's had time to get restocks, to get reprints actually, or I guess it's a restock apparently. And so the interesting thing about the Japanese restocks is that sometimes we get restocks or a reprint post-release, maybe 3 months, and then you might not get another big reprint until a year or two later. So we'll have to find out. Kind of similar to English, how English used to be, those first 4 sets from Scarlet and Violet base to Paradox Rift, we would get a bunch of, you know, restocks, a bunch of product, and there was less demand back then, and so the product was just readily available, that the booster box prices were stagnant, and $85 for a booster box, maybe $90. And so it's interesting now that there's just so much more demand, and so much more stores. So many stores are now getting product. You got Dollar Tree, Home Depot, 7-Eleven. All these places are asking for Pokemon product because they see how popular it is. If we go to the PSA 10 prices, This card has sold since February. We got our first PSA 10 sale for $174. And then we had some sales for $148. And it's actually been trending in the downward direction throughout March at $119, $125, $115, $105, not too bad. $86 on March 15th. And then it's kind of trending in the upper direction at around $119, $100. Even one sold on March 19th for $168, $91, and $120. So maybe it's about to take off. Journey Together is going to come out, and a lot of people are talking about that Salamence. Here we have the N Zoroark. I'll have to add the photo of the English card if I can find it right here. I'll do that later, but we can see sales for $320. It's been selling for around $250 to $230, $245, $265, and now it's recently dropped on March 21st to $220, $202, and $210. The cheapest price being $210 and $142. So prices are everywhere from around $140 to $190, but most of them have been consistently selling for about $240 to $230. Now let's check out that Japanese N Zoroark, because right out the gate, this was an expensive card, I remember. So $158 raw, $200 in January, and then look at February. So in January we had sales for $158, right? And then in February, this card has been dropping to $98, $82, $80, $70. Towards the end of March, it managed to drop to $72. And now there's even been sales for $58, $77, $80. And I think this card is just a huge play. I might be biased because I really like this card. I think it's a sleeper. I think it's the dark horse of the set. I think a lot of people will surprisingly really want to chase this card. But yeah, this card is sub $100. I think that's crazy. $85 is nuts. The eBay price average is $81. And so I think it's a good card to look at and to kind of, if you're looking to collect these cards, the English versions, like I said, are in the 230s, 240 for this card. The English counterpart from Journey Together. And so I think the Japanese card is just a steal. I'm surprised it's so cheap. Booster boxes have also dropped for Japanese battle partners down to the 70s because of that restock or reprint announcement. And then in early February, we started getting our PSA 10 sales at $270, $204. And look at recently. The most recent sales are down in the 130s to the 140s in March, 138, 140. And then we even see an uptrend and this card trending in the upper direction lately to 168 and 145. But at one point, this card dropped to $120 and $140, and now it's back to about $140 and $168. So it's trending in the upper direction. You can see the 10 prices right here, or the sales, 138, 145, and 168. So a lot of people are chasing this card and looking to get a sweet deal on it. Next, we have the Iono's Bellibolt right here. It's interesting that the N Zoroark did beat out the Iono's Bellibolt at around 230, 240, because the Iono's Bellibolt, you can see right here, we have recent sales for 222 and 139. So are we going to see this card go back up in price? We'll have to see post-release. If enough people like this card, if market sentiment is high, then possibly this card can go back to 270 and 220. Let's see post-release, or not even post-release, sorry, I keep saying that. Pre-release prices, $299, $249, 3 sales for about $240, $230, and then 5 sales at around $200, $158, $232, $250, $156, $200. March 21st, we had a sale for $279 and $222. March 22nd, $222, and then March 23rd, $139. And so yeah, about a $220 card, a $240 card. eBay prices are around $204. Next, let's go ahead and compare that to the Japanese counterpart. We have right here Iono's Bellibolt. eBay price averages are about $146 right now. The PSA 10 is currently $281. That is expensive for a Japanese card. I do admit. And like I said, and Zoroark is about $150 to $160 for the Japanese special art rare. And this Iono's Bellibolt is a lot more popular in the Japanese collecting market. You know, it is technically, I guess, a waifu character or whatever. But let's go ahead and look at the PSA 10s. Around $251 and $245 lately for the PSA 10. So it's actually dropped from this average right here on eBay down to $205 and $245. So that's good news. You can see the PSA 10 rate. Japanese quality is so good, you guys. 1,451 PSA 10s versus 52 PSA 9s. That is an insane. Those are insane rates, you guys. Because same thing with the N Zoroark, even better. 726 PSA 10s to only 33 PSA 9s. That's like a 90% gem rate of the PSA 10s. And that's why I'm saying that I feel like the Battle Partners is a huge play, because if these Journey Together cards take off and the product is hard to get, the only downside is that we are going to get reprints apparently in July for this set. Who knows how much we're going to get, if it's enough to quench the demand. And then also, not only reprints, but the set is a smaller set. So will the cards be more affordable because they're easier to pull? We'll have to find out. Or not easier to pull, but the fact that there's just less to pull in general, there's going to be more availability possibly for the English chase cards in this set. But going back to Lillie's Bellibolt, you can see prices have dropped. In January, they're around $200 to $250. Then in February, down to $183 to $160s. And then now in March, you can see sales even lower. From February $160, let's say, to March $135, $129, $111, $90, $114. So it's dropped about $50 to $60 since February for the Japanese counterpart. You can see it's trending in the downward direction, right? So Iono's Bellibolt, you know, these cards can drop, and then I feel like over time, if we don't get more Japanese product, the cards can go back up again, because at one point they were expensive and highly sought after. But because, you know, the Japanese, you know, Pokemon market, they print so much boxes, there's guaranteed like hits in the set or whatnot for Japanese booster boxes. It makes sense that, you know, there's a lot of cards on the market, but they're getting bought up. I've been looking on eBay the past month to 2 months and just watching the sales just drop and drop over time. And then I've seen some cards go up like we've talked about. Next, we have the Hops Zacian right here. Pretty cool card. I like it mainly for the zoomed in version of Zacian. It's just really cool. We could see prices on March 15th, pre-release $130, $190, $172. March 19th, $139. March 20th, $150. $165. It dropped March 22nd to $140, $90 right here, and then back up to $140. So sometimes this depends on the card quality and stuff, but again, you know, it managed to drop to $90 on one sale in particular, and then $140. So not too bad from $190, $172 to $140. We'll see how popular this card is. It's not as popular, obviously, as the N Zoroark and the Bellibolt and Lillie's Clefairy. But we'll have to find out. You know, there's still auctions going on. 26 people were bidding, and it sold for $140. And when we go to the Hops Zacian counterpart in Japanese, so much cheaper, you guys, so much cheaper. You could see sales since the beginning were only like $46 in February, $47, $36. So cheap, you guys, $30. And then March, $20. That's crazy. $38, $39, $40. So it was dropping so fast that the price kind of went back up slightly. So the average is around $34. Yeah, $36 throughout March. So it's just been slowly dropping post-release. $50 in January, $47, $45 in February, and now $30, $33 in March. So could there be a play as well for this card? You know, I would argue, in my opinion, that the play isn't as strong, only because it's just not the most popular trainer that we have. It really isn't. You can see PSA 10 prices aren't even that expensive for the Japanese card. $155, $134, $100. And again, there's only 3 sales so far. That just kind of shows that it's not as popular. But again, like the English card, you gotta admit, it looks so sick, right? Most of us are English collectors. We want the English version. But the Japanese version, you know, 30 bucks is just not too bad. Next, we have this Volcanion card. We could see, I'm going to add the picture later. Volcanion card, so sick, you guys. Honestly, not the most popular Pokemon, but it's a sick artwork. Probably the coolest, you know, for an unpopular or not so popular Pokemon or mythical Pokemon. $79 pre-release price, $125, $95, $70, $90, $70, $100. And lately, we've had a lot of sales right here at around $95 and $75, even $71. Average eBay prices are $86. And then again, look at the Japanese counterpart right here. It's actually trending in the upper direction. Are people anticipating that this card's going to go up for the English Journey Together? We'll have to find out, because there's a lot of big time players in the Japanese market that are actually US sellers. You know, a lot of US sellers, a lot of US card businesses, online, small businesses, they're buying so much Japanese product and they're making a lot of, you know, just incredible margins, because the more volume you have, let's say in Japanese cards, and people want the English card, but they're like, you know what, let's just get Japanese. If you buy a large volume of Japanese cards at a good price corrected price, a lower entry price, and then you make a marginal gain like $20 per card, and you have, you know, 100 cards, like that's pretty good, you know. That's what, $2,000, 100 cards, $20 gain, $2,000. Yeah. So it's all about volume when it comes to English cards or even Japanese cards. The more volume, the greater your marginal return is going to be. And yeah, this card's trending in the upper direction. We have a sale for $94 in a PSA 10 for this Volcanion EX, and there's only 71 PSA 10s. So could that be a reason? Here's a play that we made right here in the Japanese market. I'll show you that in just a minute, but we're going to look at the English Articuno. So average eBay prices are around $73. We can see pre-release prices have been all over the place. This has been a super volatile card. 120, we have some sales for 123 on the same day, and even $70 on March 16th, 125, and on the same day we have sales as low as $65. And then right here, March 17th, St. Patty's Day, we even have sales that are also volatile. We have sales for 104, and then we have sales in the 60s and one in the 30s, and one for 84, 75. So it's interesting how this card is selling as high as $104, but as low as like the 60s and 70s. Same thing right here, March 18th, 104, $75 sales, a sale for $102, and sales in the 60s and in the 80s, even 91. Right here, March 20th, we have a big sale, 132, 95, 75, 69, 105, $90, and $65 on March 21st. $90, $90, right here, $82, $75, $62. So this card, as we can see, is trending in the downward direction, but the volatility is decreasing. So it looks like it's kind of getting a stable price point at around $60 to $75. We'll just have to see post-release, you know, if enough Articunos in English can be pulled, maybe the price will get corrected all the way down to $30 or $40, which will be an awesome thing, because the Groudon is now $100. It's the most sought after illustration rare for Paradox Rift. I've been selling a lot of Paradox Rift booster boxes. A lot of people want to buy them right now before they go up to $200. I just made a sale today for 2 booster boxes, Obsidian Flame and Paradox Rift, for $360. So, you know, $200 for Obsidian Flames, and I cut him a deal for $160 for the Paradox Rift. So a lot of people want those illustration rares, and they want to rip the packs, you know, they still want to chase some cards. Next, we have this Articuno, but the Japanese version. eBay prices average out to about $10.56. So I made a play on this. I got several of these Articunos, and when I was a first-time vendor recently, it was so much fun, great experience. I was able to sell these for around $12 to $15, maybe $10 here and there. But I have a ton more that I got for $9 a few months ago when the set came out. So let's go ahead and look at the all-time data. Maybe the data will look better. No, it does not look better. Let's just look at the data. So man, this set did not come out that soon. It's interesting how we have PSA 10 data from December, because the set did not come out at that point. Let's just start from January. We have some PSA 10s at around $57, $50. And then this might be a little cleaner. Yeah. So $50, it stayed at around $50 to $44. That's pretty nuts, you guys. February 13th. And then look at the end of February. I remember seeing this too on eBay. Sales were, just going up to around 131. And now it's been trending in the downward direction, actually, recently. I noticed that too. Down to around $82 and $79 and even $75. Whereas the single has dropped to $10.56. And in February, it was a $12 single. And in January, it was a $16 to $15 single. And so, really big drops for this Articuno. It is like one of the most popular illustration rares in the entire set. If we go to the Japanese version right here, we could see the most sought after illustration rare for the Japanese card has been the Ends Reshiram at $17. It used to be a $25 card and now it's dropped to $17. Really close to the Volcanion $20 card. And then the Lillie's Ribombee has been more expensive than Articuno right now at $12.19. And then you have the Iono's Kilowattrop $10, the Enzora $7, and the Whale Lord $6. But now let's go ahead and look at the English set. Articuno, like we talked about, $73. Could it go as low as $40, or is it going to stay at around $60? We'll have to find out post-release and over time what price point people are willing to pay for this card. Iono's Bellibolt, $68 card. Ends Reshiram, $64. This is the, I'm not sure if they're taking the sales from the stamped version or not. The Whale Lord, $58. Iono's Kilowattrop, $40. Lillie's Ribombee, $33 pre-release price. Not too bad, I feel like. It's just, we'll have to see if it's popular enough, that Lillie's Ribombee to go up and to have a little buyout or a boom. Well, who knows? Hop Zacian, $30 right here. The Furret, $23. Lion Croc, $21. Hops Wooloo, $22. And yeah, the Swinub, $15. And so there's a few other illustration rares in this set. Let's go to the booster box. Booster box prices have been nuts. In February, they're around $190, and people were still, look at the volume. You have about, on average, 250 booster boxes being sold every few days for this set. And that's that, a lot of it is FOMO because stores are like canceling orders and stuff. So people are turning to TCG Player and looking at, well-established stores that are most likely not going to cancel on TCG Player, because that would be really bad, right? But other stores, don't mind canceling orders, or like the store that I got invested with, they're just going to delay my order until they have more inventory. But at least it sounds like they're going to, hold themselves to that, and hopefully their word is true. Right here in March, you can see that it's been jumping in March to the 200s. Right here, $216, jumped up to $245. And again, look at the volume. 80 booster boxes on average right here are being sold. $245, had a small price correction to $238, and now it's on its way up to $274 the past 2 weeks. And mainly because people are worried that they're not going to get the enhanced booster box. Here's the Elite Trainer box, $344. The regular one, $119. Enhanced booster box, $276. The regular booster box, $274. So we'll have to find out what the price difference will be over time. And if we do get a reprint, are we going to get reprints of the enhanced booster box or the regular one? Booster bundles, $66 right here. That's about more than $10 a pack, because there's about 6 packs. So that's about $11 a pack right there. And yes, the regular Journey Together ETB, $115. It's jumped from $89 in mid-February to $112 at the end of March. And if you stayed this far past in the video, I'm gonna hook you guys up. Hills Wholesale Gaming has booster boxes right now at $220. So with taxes and shipping, it comes out to $243. I'm not sure if it's the enhanced version. It really doesn't say. But if you're looking for a deal, $220 right there. And then we also have the case for $1,300 right here. Again, it's Hills Wholesale Gaming. And then we have the single Elite Trainer box for $85. You can get a case of 10 for $850. But remember, you are gonna have to pay the shipping. And I think taxes apply too. I can't remember. You guys will have to find out. But $85 plus $20 shipping. But I think $20 will cover anything that you're looking to get. That's all I have, you guys. I'll see you guys later. Peace.